found really beautiful about the book is that you explained the sentiment of that time. Like, even when he lost the case at the hands of the judge, like McCardie, who was definitely with his constant interceptions and constant favorism towards Michael O'Dyer, had a big impact on the result. But the explanation afterwards, when you talk about how even in the loss, he won. He won because he
Yeah, he won.
gave a big
He won.
impetus.
That's what see, it was not the question of going to court. I mean, he knew the law perfectly and he knew how it's going to work. But for him, it was a win because now the whole world knew that there was no justice in the British Empire. There was no justice. There was no fair play. There was none of that, which they were famous for. Which
Yes,
they were
absolutely.
really famous for. The British were known always all over for fair play. But there was no such thing. It didn't exist. And then what happened? Everybody started wanting freedom and the national.
And it was only after this when Mahatma Gandhi himself said, now we have, earlier they were talking about self-government, dominion, status and all that. They said we want full independence.
That was when it started because of this. And now everybody knew this. And not just that, the whole world knew.
See, when it was argued at the Court of King's Bench in London, it was reported in the Times of London, the Straits Times in Singapore, in Australia, in Canada, India. And when we were doing a research, we got news coverage every day for those 5.5 weeks. We went through that.
In all of those coverages, in all of those headlines, McCardie was bashed left, right, and center. He was called out.
He was, well, yes, in a way, because everybody, he was speaking out in open court, where it was packed court. Yeah. So everybody knew what's happening. But it was, it was an Englishman's.
And later on, even in the Houses of Parliament, they questioned McCardie.
Yes, so everybody knew it was an unfair judge. Everybody knew. But that was not his point. His point is, I want the world to know what Britain had done in the Punjab to the people of Punjab. And not just even at the massacre, they've done much, much more. So all that came out. It started as a Jallianwala, but it got so much more information out, which is what he was aiming at.
The whole world came to know about it. There were many
and he never apologized. They had asked for an apology. He said, I'm not going to apologize. What for? For telling the truth? No way, I won't apologize. So that way he won. He got what he set out to get, right?
You see, the British were very good in keeping covering up, infamous acts that they did.